Good morning, everyone. This is my Week 8 Title IX audit. This is our last assignment that we have. I have decided to do my last project on Title IX's first prong, which is the proportionality between the student athletes and the regular students. I decided to do it on my alma mater, which is Grand Valley State University up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. To start, I'm going to show you all the statistics that I was able to research. Share. Perfect. You should be able to see my screen now. And you can see here the GVSU Title IX statistics. There are a total of 8 men's varsity sports, a total of 10 women's varsity sports, and you can see the men's student athletes. Baseball has 34, basketball has 17, cross country with 44, football 131, golf 9, swimming and diving 30, tennis has 11, track and field athletes are 88, and the total male student athletes are 364. And you can see that there's 58% of the student athletes there are male, and that will be important after I go over these female athletes, which softball has 21, basketball 15, cross country has 36, volleyball has 19, golf with 8, swimming and diving 27, tennis 7, track 72, lacrosse 29, and women's soccer at 35, for a total of 269 total student athletes, with 42% of all student athletes are female. Now, I went to Grand Valley State for 4 years. I worked in their athletic program as a student assistant for the men's basketball team. And one thing that they always said when you first start coming in is that there's a ton of females at the university. And after doing a little research, it is true that the female population of the school is at a total of 13,795 students, where male students are 8,700. So the female students make up 61% of the student population, and the males make up 39%. And if you look at that towards the student athletes, you can see 58% males are 58% of the student athlete body are males, and 42% are female. Now, why is this important? Well, now that I showed you the statistics, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So basically, because of this, the proportionality in the text states that basically how the school works, if it's a 50-50 proportionality between the men and women, then the student athletes should also be 50-50 between men and women, or at least within 5%. And the student athletes they're about 20% off of the numbers that they're supposed to be, with the female students 61%, and the student athletes of females are 42%, and vice versa for the males. So the proportions are leaning towards the male side. Now, the main reason that is because Grand Valley is a huge football school, and when we're just going over those numbers, you probably saw football, 131 participants, which is a lot of athletes, and that's why you'll see there's a lot, just about any school that you go to that is Title IX, that is regulated with Title IX. You'll see if they have a football team that there will be more female teams in general, just for they can get up to those numbers. Now, like I said, I've been at Grand Valley State I was there for 4 years prior to being here at William Woods, and they've done a lot of things to try to work with this. And just briefly going into prong 2 is, if you are not compliant with the Title IX with the proportions, which, as I just showed, Grand Valley State isn't, you have to prove and show that you are constantly working to bring in more participation for female varsity athletics. at Grand Valley, uh, like I said, they're not there yet. So what they did in my sophomore year is they brought in a women's lacrosse team, scholarship sport, and that showed that they are moving towards the proportions. Now the school is still way off at about 20%, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the next few years. I don't really know how closely it is regulated because they're either going to have to add another sport or two for female athletics, or the other rumor that I've also heard is that Grand Valley is trying to bring in more male students, and if this happens, and the numbers from the 39% male students, 39% traditional male students, and 61% female, if those numbers get a little closer to 50-50, it'll be a little easier um, for them to be in regulation of where they need to be. But it's still, from 58% of the student athletes, that really means that only that means that the male students would have to be at 53%, and with them at 39 right now, that's a big difference. But I mean, at the same time, with COVID-19 going on right now, who knows if there will be less students that go to school? Maybe the numbers will get closer. But that is one thing that'll interest me and that I'll kind of keep an eye on, is how Grand Valley deals with this. Will they add another team? Are they close? How often do they have to add that other team? That's something I'm not really sure, that I'm going to have to do a little more, that I'd like to do a little research on, because it's not easy to just add teams or take teams off, whether it be male or female athletics, and they're they're going to have to do something. So I don't know if there's a certain, you have to add teams within every 5 years to show that you're still progressing towards it, or if there's another rule that just shows that as long as you're working towards it, whether it be to get a female flag football team, um, whatever it might be, to more athlete get more female athletes there. But like I said, it'll be something to watch, and right now they are technically compliant. So thank you, and I guess this is our last video.